Welcome back, everybody. Derrick Soo, your 2022 Oakland mayoral candidate. Well, it is Labor Day, and it's a holiday today, and so a lot of people are out, hopefully enjoying this beautiful weather. We're having some triple digits here in Oakland or around the Bay Area. Here in Oakland, it's expected to be near 90 or in the 90s at the peak of today. So today we're all out and enjoying things. And so one of the things that I wanted to mention was I'm sure every one of you has seen some of the new advertisings for the new Togo's cheesesteak pastrami sandwiches. Well, I was out Saturday. I was doing some shopping, and lo and behold, we happen to be next door is a Togo's. And so I decided to go ahead, get some dinner. It would be a cheap dinner. It's typically you're looking at sandwiches, two large sandwiches, drinks and chips. Per person, I'm usually right around $10, $11, $12 per person. And so I went to Togo's and ordered those new cheesesteak pastrami sandwiches for myself and my driver, who was giving me a hand with the transportation. And so didn't even look at the price of the sandwiches. And when I got the bill, it was a shocker, because I have never paid so much for two sandwiches. And I want you to see this. You don't need to hear it. You just need to see this. Look at that total. $33.90 for two large sandwiches. And not only were they the large sandwiches, because one of the things that I did notice that they did, when they were pulling out the bread, they chopped off 3 inches of my sandwich and my driver's sandwich. And then I looked up at the sign and I noticed that that foot-long sandwich is now down to 9 inches. They took 3 inches off that sandwich. That's nearly a $17 sandwich, and they chopped 3 inches of the bread off. It's not like they were having to spend more money on this, because literally I watched them chop off 3 inches of bread, throw it into this one container, and you could see how many sandwiches, how many footlongs they made that day. And it's interesting that that bread is just going to be thrown away in the garbage rather than included with your sandwiches. And it's $16.95 for that large sandwiches. That's just a sandwich. There's no drink and no chips. That's just the sandwich. So if you bought that new cheesesteak pastrami sandwich, that's what you can expect to pay. I was shocked when the person said $42. I said, excuse me, for two sandwiches? And then I looked up and I saw the price, and I said, oh, wow. And I know that Togo's sandwiches are expensive. That's the bottom line. And there's some of the better sandwiches. I used to also enjoy Quiznos until they went out of business. And since the Subway fiasco a couple years ago, I have not walked into a Subway sandwich shop ever again. And I don't plan to, because their sandwiches weren't that good. Yeah, the people that responded to this and were in shock and say, well, Subway's is much cheaper. And I say, Subway's is also a crappy sandwich. I would rather go to Safeway and get a sandwich for nearly $9, because you go to Safeway now in their deli section, that sandwich for a large is $9, $8.99, and that's just with cold cuts and stuff that they have there in the deli section. They don't have pastrami. And so that's one of the downfalls of Safeway. That person who said, well, I get mine at Safeway. So you get yours at Safeway where? Because I don't know any of the Safeway delis that make sandwiches and make a pastrami sandwich, because I had never seen it on the menu. So and if they do make one, how much is it? Because it's certainly going to be more than $8.99, because they're serving you the cheap cold cuts there. Well, maybe not so cheap because they use boar's head, but a lot of sandwiches are half the price of what I paid. So anyway, just be aware that food is getting terribly, terribly expensive. If this is a takeout sandwich at $42 and I went home to eat this, how much is it to eat in a restaurant? Because I'm used to paying $30 for a decent meal, maybe even up to $40 for a decent sit-down meals. And if the takeout for 2 sandwiches comes to $42, I'm thinking sit-down being typically 20 to 30% more, $60, we'll say. I can't afford to eat in a restaurant. Can you? And so anyway, inflation is ridiculous. Cost of food is ridiculous. Eating out is terribly expensive. And I don't know how people are making it these days. So I do have to say, this was a really good sandwich. It was really good, that pastrami sandwich. And I would buy it again, but I'm not going to rush back to do so. So anyway, go out, enjoy your Labor Day weekend. Have fun, stay hydrated because it's going to be hot, triple digits and high 80s and 90s here in the Bay Area. So make sure you stay hydrated. I'm drinking a lot of iced tea that I'm making. I'm making it with without the sweetener, and so I'm just drinking iced tea, just plain iced tea, and putting a little bit of Splenda in it for a light sweetening, and that's it. It's water's boring, and I'm diabetic type 2, and so drinking a lot of sugar is not in the cards for me. So thanks for joining me. We'll be right back.